Week 10 NFL action. We are coming at you with some picks for the NFL this week. We're actually recording this on a Thursday night. We got Thursday night football going on, about to kick off in like 5 minutes, probably while we're on this show. So, no
My
picks for Thursday
Ravens.
night football. That's okay. I'm big on Joe Burrow tonight, so I'm just calling that out for future reference so I can refer back to it and say how right I was. Just because
I took Lamar Jackson rushing total over myself. So
dude's gonna win another MVP. It's crazy. Absolutely
just take
crazy.
the whole game over. The game, the players, every prop you can find over. Call it good.
I'm hoping it's an overnight. I think so. Cool. Well, we just recorded the college football show. Go check that out. I have a lot of great picks there. We crushed it last week. Like, I don't normally come on and be like, follow us to make all the money, because like we like to think that you listen to us because we're entertaining and fun and lovely, but you can make a lot of money if you were following us recently. So continue to follow us. We're going to do it again this week. Let's start in the NFL. I'll kick us off. Let's do it. We got the Steelers at the Commanders. I see a lot of mixed opinions on this game. I'll take the Commanders -2.5. I think we find out if the Steelers are fraudulent this week. I think they are, but like, I think we actually find out this week if that's happening. And you'll see that in my player props. I lean towards the idea that they are. They're not as good as their record indicates. However, what makes me nervous for my own pick is the Commanders have looked really dominant in some games, and they've come from behind some, and they haven't played a lot of very good teams. So be a big test for Jaden Daniels, but to win by a field goal, I still like the Commanders. Give me the home team here for sure, mostly because I think the Steelers are overrated.
I like it. I mean, to me, in general, this feels a little bit like a pick 'em, but then you throw in the home field advantage here. I don't hate it. I am terrified because this is hands down the best defense that Daniels has played all year and
Easily.
will probably play this entire season. So that's why I stayed off of it. And we still don't know about Brian Robinson yet. But as good as Daniels has played, man, I do like to think that he could easily pull it off.
Can one of you guys stop me when I name a good team? New York Giants, New York Jets, Las Vegas Raiders, Dallas Cowboys, Indianapolis Colts. Those are the Steelers' last 5 games. Yeah. Fraudulent.
Yeah, and they don't forget the Denver Broncos in a rookie quarterback's second game.
Yeah,
that was another one of their win. It was another one of their win.
And they lost 2 of those games that I mentioned. Like, they lost to the Colts, they lost to the Cowboys. Like,
all right,
Eric. Remember when we tried to tell you they were the worst 3-0 team in the league?
You tried, but the Seahawks won that argument.
Seahawks are great.
Don't pick on Stef's former team. Speaking of, actually, we're going to go over to Mike. Mike, tell us what you got for your first pick.
I'm starting with a fun little juicy road parlay here. Give me the Vikings on the money line at Jacksonville, Broncos +14 at Kansas City, and Detroit on the money line at Houston. Get this at a fun little +183. Stef, you can screw off.
That is
Which one of these is going to be the one that breaks your heart, Mikey? Which one makes you the most nervous? Which leg?
Detroit on the money line in Houston.
Really?
Yeah. And let me tell you why. The Jags in general, they're banged up right now. Trevor is so banged up that they just had to go out and sign another quarterback because they didn't know what the heck was going to happen. They've got injured receivers. So even if he is back, is Brian Robinson or not Brian Robinson? The other Brian, the rookie there. Right there it is. I wrote his name down wrong and then I forgot his name. Is he going to be back? I argue he probably is going to play, but he's not going to be completely healthy. And then the Vikings just coming off a really bad game last week. I do expect a bounce back here. They are definitely the better team. And the Jags defense is frankly just terrible. So you add in the offensive injuries on that. I just don't know if they're going to be able to do anything there. The Broncos +14, you'd have to go back 8 games back to early 2020 to get to a point that Kansas City beat Denver by more than 14 points. And this is hands down the best Denver team that we have seen in a minute. And Patrick Mahomes is not going to be 100% here. The only the only stud receiver we can say is DeAndre Hopkins, but you got Asante Samuel back with Denver. who has just played the
You mean
shadow game.
Patrick Surtain? I don't think Asante Samuel's played in about a decade.
Oh man, this is my Lad McConkey argument here from last week.
Yes.
Wait till I talk about the Chargers this week.
But yeah, man, he plays the shadow game so well.
Yep.
And up until last week, nobody had put up more than, I think the largest amount of yards he'd been put up on all week was or all year has been like 35 yards. So I like them to stay within 14 here. And then Detroit, they're just a better team in general, man. Houston, since they lost Nico Collins, they have been susceptible. And then they also lost Stephon Diggs and they got even worse. Don't get me wrong. You guys know my love for Joe Mixon right now, but that has not been enough to keep them on the board. They're giving up points and they're not scoring enough against no matter who they play right now. And Detroit, in my opinion, is playing like the best team in the league. So as long as all three of these teams come up and play their best, I really like this. But I've been saying for like the last 3 weeks, I was going to come up with something spicy and I finally did it. So plus 183.
That is great. That is very spicy. We rarely give out the 3-leg parlay. So we're gonna make this a full frat bro parlay and like add 5 or 6 legs based on these other picks to this and see if we can get to like a plus 2,000 somewhere. Stefan, what do you got for us?
Yeah, so I mentioned my Chargers because they're just so good. They don't even need Puka Nacua. That's how good they are. No, I expect a big week from Justin Herbert. Tennessee's not good. In fact, Tennessee is 1-7 against the spread. The Chargers are 5-2-1. Tennessee, yes, they got to play New England last week and get the win. But when they play good teams, they struggle to score. I mean, they don't score more than 10, 12 points. They're very, very bad. So I think the Chargers can take care of business fairly easily. I know this game has a low total. That doesn't really scare me too much because I think the total is low because Tennessee is that bad. So give me, and even Will Levis, I mean, I actually hope he does play, but he's questionable right now. But give me the Chargers at home minus 7, I think is the best number I could find. I'm
Awesome.
bummed because it was -4 to start, and it really has moved a lot.
That's a lot.
I mean, I'll move ahead into my next pick, which is like the Lions. Like the Titans are kind of known like to be a defensive team, but like the Lions literally put up 52 points on them. I think the Chargers are gonna manage to put up some points on them as well. All right. Speaking of the Lions, we're gonna go back to that Lions and Texans conversation. Unfortunately, Nico Collins isn't looking to be trending in the right direction. However, the Lions are absolutely on fire right now. I would say, am I going to say they're the best team in the NFL? No, because the Kansas City Chiefs still exist, but they're playing better than anybody else in the NFL. And I think that's amazing. They could put up 30 plus. Hopefully the Texans at home put up a bit of a fight. Over 48.5 is my pick. Lions at Texans. Lions are just a big over team and a fun team to watch. I can't say I have a ton more statistics for you on that one. So
man, I like it. Prior to last week, they were averaging almost, I think it was 45 points a game over like their previous 4. And last week, I think they would have done it, but it was monsooning the entire freaking game. So, I like that a lot.
And other than that, I was saying, other than that, they've gone before that, they went 4 in a row where the over hit.
Yeah.
And Dan Campbell doesn't take his foot off the gas. Doesn't take his foot off the gas. He is,
and they just got the edge rusher from Cleveland as well to replace Aiden Hutchinson as well. Yep. So they're gonna,
in a dome. Yep,
they're making moves, man. I love it.
It'll be a good and fun game to watch, even though the Texans are kind of banged up there. Mike, what's your next pick?
I'm gonna go Falcons team total over 23.5 points at the Saints. It's minus 142. I didn't want to. It's sitting at 24.5. I didn't want to quite go there. As spicy as the last parlay was, I felt like I needed something maybe a little bit safer here. But the Falcons have hit this in 5 of their last 6, including the last time they played the Saints. Falcons have just flat out looked better every single week. The longer Kirk Cousins is in that offense, even if they don't have Drake London back next week, I think they're still going to be fine. Bijan Robinson's looking fresh and playing super well. If you want to take it, I didn't take it, but if you want to take his prop, it's at like 75.5 rushing yards, and I love that a lot. the Saints, they're on a 7-game losing streak right now, and they did just fire Dennis Allen. So we all know the conversation of, teams coming back playing like studs after the first week. But I think if they do that, it's going to be more offensively than defensively. And I think the Falcons will be able to keep up just fine. The Saints are giving up 25 a game. And this includes 23 last week to the freaking Panthers.
Yep.
And they just traded away. God, everybody's name is like just completely blanking on me right now. There's stud defensive back, and he's gone. So we'll leave it at that. Yeah, thank you, Marcus Lattimore.
Players don't matter. We know this.
Oh my gosh,
they do when you need.
They fucking name 5 defensive players in the NFL right now.
I don't want it because they don't matter.
Harrison
Butker, Justin Tucker.
Oh my god!
Don't say Butker's name. Even before Lattimore left, they were 28th in opponent yards per game and 30th in points per game, and that's out of a league of 32 teams, not 150 like you have in the NCAA. So defensively, they just haven't been good at all, man. After the 2-game start, they just completely shat the bed and have continued to do that every week. So,
they're done.
Falcons scoring 24 points. I love this one.
The Saints is a bet against the Saints team the rest of the year and make a lot of money. I love that one for sure. Cool, Stefan. You got your second and last game pick for us.
Yes. I won my 1 pick last week, so I thought I'd come with 2. Let's go San Francisco team total over 27.5. Christian McCaffrey's coming back. I love this matchup against the Buccaneers for the Niners. I think Brock Purdy goes off. I think McCaffrey goes off. I was trying to figure out how to attack this game because this is going to be one of those picking and choosing which players you want in this for like DFS purposes. But like, it's hard to get Christian McCaffrey in the lineup. It's hard to bet a touchdown when it's like sitting at, what was I saying? It was sitting at like minus 270 for an anytime touchdown for Christian McCaffrey. So let's just attack the team total over 27.5. When they're playing not great defenses, they can hit this. I think Baker Mayfield can do his part to keep them running. 4 touchdowns doesn't seem like too much to ask for this 49ers team. So I'm going to roll with it.
Oh, that's great. I do think the Niners, I don't think Christian McCaffrey's necessarily going to go off, but he's going to come in and provide a solid game. We're going to talk about that more in player props coming back here. I imagine they'll workload manage him a little bit, but man, what a crazy weapon to have come back to a Bucs team that just lost like a heartbreaking against a Bucs team that lost a heartbreaking game in Kansas City. Great. I got a parlay for us. I'll give my own spicy parlay. It's not that spicy though. I'm just going to agree with everything Steve said about the Chargers. We're not going to belabor that point. Chargers are going to win. We're going to add the Bills money line to that. So Chargers money line plus Bills money line to get to minus 106. I like the Bills to win. They are rolling. We are at the time of the year where I start to think the Bills can beat the Chiefs, and I will inevitably be wrong. But they're just kind of hitting their stride. They're playing the Colts. I said it in the college football episode. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. Anthony Richardson is not a good football player, and in general, and Joe Flacco, I think it definitely gives the Colts the best chance to win here. But give me the Bills to keep rolling. They got a division to go out and compete for, and to play for playoff seeding. And you got to go and beat the Colts. You got to beat the Colts on the road for playoff seeding purposes. So give me the Chargers and Bills money line parlay.
My only concern here with the Bills is if they don't get Amari Cooper and Keon Coleman back. I haven't checked on their status, but without them, they looked rough, and they are kind of in a little bit of a look-ahead spot here with the Chiefs next week, and the drama behind that game. So, but if they have even one of those 2 guys, I love this a lot.
Khalil Shakir is going to have a crazy game. All right, Mike, why don't you talk about the Dolphins, and we'll move to player props.
Yeah, give me the Dolphins team total over 23.5 versus the Rams. Since Tua came back, they've scored 27 points a game. The Dolphins have looked great, and that was against the Bills and the Cards. Now you've got the Rams, who have an even worse defense than that. They're giving up 24 a game, and they are 24th in offensive yards allowed per game. So I just expect this Dolphins team to keep rolling with Tua there. Achan's been great. Tyreek Hill hasn't had his blow up game since Tua came back. So this could be a good matchup for that here. And Jalen Waddle's always hit or miss. But yeah, man, give me the Dolphins over 24. I don't have a ton much more to say this other than I like it.
That's great, man. Totally different team with Tua back. Absolutely
yeah.
crazy. I hope the man's okay. I think
Yep.
enough said there. All right, let's roll right into player props here. Let's waste no time. Give me Russell Wilson over half interception. I talked about the Steelers. I think they're a little bit fraudulent. Wilson has not thrown an interception in 2 games. The man is due. I don't have like advanced stats for you, but there's a due date on Russell Wilson throwing an interception at -120. So I really like this prop. I'm actually kind of surprised it was here. I mean, I guess they're rarely going to give you a worse number than this. So yeah, give me Russell Wilson. I don't have any crazy stats about the secondary in Washington or anything. I just know he's going to be bombing it down to George Pickens, and I like the Commanders should grab one of those balls out of the air. So
I love how much you love interception picks.
I love them.
Steve likes me more
interception
picks.
Picks. Do I like picks?
So,
Is that what we're asking? Picks.
By the way, Amari Cooper is on the anytime touchdown market, so I'm guessing Vegas thinks he's playing.
Guess he's playing.
Love it. All right, Mike, give us a player prop.
Joe Mixon again, baby. Over 81 and a half yards.
Rinse and repeat.
Man, it's worked. Every single game he's played this year, he has gone over 100 yards. And we're still hanging out in the low 80s. So I'm just going to keep taking it. I mean, this defense, don't get me wrong, is the best he's played to this point. So this one is probably the one that worries me the most of every game I've taken it. And even with them getting Zadarius Smith and that trade with Cleveland, I just don't know if it's enough to stop him because he is their only offense right now with the 2 wide receiver injuries. So give me Joe Mixon over 81 and a half.
He can cut his production by like 20% and still hit this number for you.
Yeah. He hit, was it like 70 in the first half last week? We were like, oh, we just need one more run.
Just keep rolling with Mixon. All right, I'll take Sam Darnold over 249 and a half passing yards for my next prop. We got the Jags, which is the second worst defense against the pass and yards allowed. They average giving up 264 and a half yards per game, and they haven't played Justin Jefferson yet. So Darnold is playing great. It seems like a high number, but we have Justin Jefferson. We have a healthy TJ Hawkinson again.
Yep.
Why he couldn't just light it up against the Jags, I don't know. So yeah, Sam Darnold, 249 and a half.
Jordan Addison's a player that I like in DFS for that very reason.
Yeah.
They got a healthy receiving core finally. Like everyone's good to go. Stefan, though, you want to take us to another receiver for your one player prop here?
Yeah, so we're gonna head to the Jets. We're gonna go Devontae Adams anytime touchdown. If you look at his last 3 games, he just continues to build on his.
So close.
I'm trying to say he's getting better and better. He's getting more and more work. He had his touchdown last week. I think he goes off this week because it's a really nice little matchup for him against an Arizona defense that is not good. This was another one of those games that I wanted to figure out how can I attack this Arizona defense. I didn't trust the Jets to win on the road as a favorite. So I thought this Devontae Adams anytime touchdown at +130 was nice. And here is my side piece bet. I'm going to put 0.3 units. So a third of a unit on Devontae Adams to score 2 or more touchdowns at +950.
I'm putting my kids' college tuition on that.
What could go wrong?
You could keep your 0.3 units. All right, Mike, why don't you talk about A-Chan?
Give me A-Train here. Over 45 and a half receiving yards at -115. I get it. It's a lot of receiving yards for a running back, but he's gone over 50 in every game that he has played this year with Tua. And the Rams specifically just are not a great defense against receiving running backs. So this is another one that I said last week. I'm going to take it with Joe Mixon until it misses, and I'm just going to keep rolling. If it goes over 50, I'll probably stop taking it. But until then, I'm just going to keep rolling with it.
Why not? If he keeps clearing it, that's great. All right, I'll take
Bengals
my
are
last
up 7-0. By the way, get those live bets in. The Bengals are up 7-0.
Interesting. I need to go check my underdog fantasy lineup, who will hopefully sponsor the show someday. All right. Brock Purdy over 253.5 pass yards is my last pick here. So same reasoning as my last one, which is the Bucks have the third worst defense yards allowed. And we're adding Christian McCaffrey back in the mix. Like, yeah, workload managed, but man, just you're pretty much adding like a solid 30 or 40 yards of passing, for Brock Purdy just by adding Christian McCaffrey back in, if not more. So yeah, I love it. I love that he's got another weapon back in the receiving core, and we're at 253.5 against a really bad pass defense. So let's go with my boy Brock.
I like it.
Yeah, I think you have some 49ers action for us.
I was about to say, I'll stay with the same game here. I'm going to go George Kittle over 60 receiving yards. You can get this at plus 110. Kittle is currently leading the Niners in receiving yards across the entire team. He's got 100 more yards than Deebo Samuel, who's sitting at number 2. He's gone for 128, 92, 58, and then 64 again in his last 4. So he's hit in 3 of his last 4. And now he plays Tampa, who just got absolutely torched by the tight end last week. So I'm going to take it again everything you said with Purdy, I just think they just continue to feed Kittle because it's working.
And you have last pick for us.
Yeah, last one. I'm going to take Tyrone Tracy over 70 rushing yards. You can get it at minus 115. He's now the number 1 running back. Oh, shut up, Stef. He's not the number 1 running back.
No, I'm not saying I don't like the pick. I'm saying it's crazy that Tyrone Tracy is a number 1 running back.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. That's
for an NFL franchise. What are we at? What's happening?
Oh, man. I mean, even since Singletary's come back, he's still averaged at least 65% of the snaps. So he put up 66 last week, but that was against a really good Commanders defense. But he put up 145 the week before against an even better Pittsburgh defense. Now he has the lovely pleasure that we talk about, I feel like every week, in playing the Panthers, who to this point have given up 159 rushing yards per game. So you give me his recent production on top of playing the Panthers, they go over 70. Yeah, I'm going to jump on it.
Well, we keep making money against these bad teams. That's what they're here for. So,
hey, Mikey, can I tempt you with a little parlay here? We're going to tease Joe Mixon 70+ rush yards with Achane over 25 receiving yards at minus 120. Is that tempting?
Put 5 units on it. 5 units.
Yeah, let's go.
Throw it on 5 units. Love it. All right, you've reached the part of the show where we run things down. We have NFL game picks for you and player props. And we've been crushing it lately, so you're going to want to get on these. Before you do, follow us on Instagram, X, TikTok, YouTube especially, wherever you get your podcasts. Like, subscribe, comment. Thank you very much. All right, NFL game picks. We have the Steelers at the Commanders. Give me the Commanders minus 2.5. Lions and Texans over 48.5. And then I'll take a nice little parlay of Chargers money line plus the Bills money line at minus 106. Stefan.
I am going to take the Chargers minus 7 hosting the Titans. And I'm going to take the 49ers team total over 27.5 points.
And I'm going to take and start out with this lovely little frat boy parlay, I think is what we coined it. The Vikings money line with Broncos plus 14 with Detroit on the money line. You can get that at a lovely plus 183. Give me the Falcons team total over 23.5 points versus the Saints. And then give me the Dolphins team total also over 23.5 points at the Rams.
All right, let's move on to player props. I got Russell Wilson throwing interception this week at minus 120. Sam Darnold over 249.5 passing yards. Brock Purdy over 253.5 passing yards. Stefan, you got one for us.
I've got Devontae Adams anytime touchdown plus 130 and a side piece bet for him to score a second at plus 950.
And I've got Joe Mixon once again over 81.5 rushing yards. Devon Achane also once again over 45.5 receiving yards. Tyrone Tracy over 70 rushing yards. And George Kittle over 60 receiving yards.
Love it. That's how we're going to make money. We will see you all later. Let's enjoy some football this weekend, y'all, in the cold weather, and we will see ya.